prayer. Any volunteer who wants to lead us in a word of prayer, you can raise up your hand. And you lead us in a word of prayer. Okay. Okay. Yes. Henry, you can go on. Henry, you can unmute.
In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Lord, our Father, we thank you for the good things that you have given us till now, and we ask you to continue giving us your mercies. And Lord God, we ask you that you give us wisdom, knowledge, and understanding so that we can understand what's going on, what's is gonna be taught by our teachers. We pray through the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Thank you so much, Henry, for the word of prayer. I'm going to mute all of you such that we do not have that background noise coming in from the participants. But in case there is anything you'd like to share in the course of the session, we shall provide the opportunity for you to be able to share. But in case still you have some questions you want to ask here and there, then also you'll have that chance to be able to ask, but maybe at the end of the session, because I want us to exhaust everything we have planned for this session. So our session today, we are going to be sharing on the subject selection as you transition to Senior 3. This year, I do believe that people on this call are students in Senior 2, though I know we may have teachers, we may have parents and other stakeholders, which is also very fine. But our target is to have Senior 2 students on this call, but also other well-wishers who want to contribute and make a contribution. You are most welcome for this session. My name is Kaziba Steven, and I'm going to be the one to take you through this particular session. And what are the key areas we are going to focus on in this session? One, we are going to look at the subject options that we have at hand. We are going to look at the misconceptions. We are going to look at the career path and what subjects are relevant for that career path you may have at the back of your mind. We are going to look at the core subjects, and then we shall look at the elective subjects. We are going to go on and have a hint on what is expected, because next year all of you are going to start on the projects. But what is that you are going to be doing when it comes to next year? We are going to go on and look at, I know next year we are going to be registering, but there are quite a few things you need to be ready with. Any person who is preparing for next year, you must be ready with all the tools that you will need come next year. So that is briefly the things we are going to look at in this session. Now, looking at my screen, these are the different subjects that we have in our curriculum, in the competence-based curriculum. Our subjects are categorized into 4 major areas. We have what we call the science subjects. The science subjects, that is what you know, the physics, the chemistry, the biology, math, and we have what we call general science. But I know you may have limited knowledge about general science, but I'll talk about it in details. Then we have other subjects, such as for when it comes to humanities, we have history, geography, and then religious education. It depends on the foundation body of your school, but you may find that some schools are doing IRE, others are doing CRE, or you may be doing both at your school. But for you as a student, you choose just one depending on your religious affiliation. Then we have what we call the vocation subjects. Vocation subjects are the ones that mainly help us to get those hands-on skills. So those are what you call the vocation skills, and there are 8. But still, we have what we call the languages. So one of the languages at your level, what you have been doing in senior 2, you have been doing English and Kiswahili as compulsory languages. But also, in senior 3, you are going to continue with English. But now some of these subjects we have here are now going to become elective subjects. They are going to become option. I know some of you at your schools, you are doing some foreign languages from different countries, Arabic, German, French, Latin, Chinese, and I know some of you are taking the literature. But also, I know those people who are coming from different regions. Let me say you're coming from Busoga, you're coming from Uganda, you are coming from Ankole. I know you may be doing your local language because research has proven it that when someone understands his own mother language, it is always very easy for that particular person to be able to interpret other languages. So if you are doing your particular language from your region, then it means it is really very good. It will be of good help. So it depends on what you have been doing. But Kiswahili is a compulsory subject at senior 1 and senior 2, being that we are in the East African community and the major language of communication across East Africa is Kiswahili. When you go to Kenya, when you go to Tanzania, you'll find them that many of those people are mainly speaking Kiswahili. So even here in Uganda, you'll find that some people already, if they want to go and do the trading between Kenya and Tanzania and other countries, you'll find that Kiswahili is the language that they can use for communication. So that's why it was made compulsory at senior 1 and senior 2. So these are some of the languages that you may have at your school or that you have been doing. And if you check, you'll find yourself that you have been doing 12 subjects, of which 7 of them have been 11 of those subjects have been compulsory subjects, and then you had an option of choosing either 1 or 2 depending on the school where you have been. So it depends on the school, the number of subjects to do, but the minimum is 11 at senior 1 and senior 2. Then at senior 3 and senior 4, we shall have our minimum as 8, depending on your condition. Now, this is what you have been doing. When you look at this curriculum menu, it shows you what you have been doing at senior 1 and senior 2. So I expect that anyone on the call, at least these subjects here, your school has been doing them. At least these 11 subjects, you have been doing them. Then when it comes to the electives, I know some of you have been doing ICT. Others have been doing foreign language. Others have been doing art. Others have been doing performing arts. Others nutrition and food technology. Others literature. Others agriculture. So it depends. But I know there are some schools that always give the children an opportunity to explore as many subjects as they may wish. So if at all you have been in that kind of school, I know you have been having very many options to choose on. So there is always chance to learn. So at senior 2, this is what we expect each one of you to be doing, but at least you must be doing 12 subjects at this particular level. But now the level where you are going, things are going to change, and we shall expect that now the load is going to reduce. You have been doing very many, and now when you go to another level, the number of subjects that you are going to do are going to reduce. And what does it mean? It means that at this level of senior 3 and senior 4, the number of subjects you are going to do are going to reduce. But there are those particular subjects that are compulsory. So these subjects you are seeing in this block are compulsory subjects. And there are 7 subjects that are compulsory. You have English, math, history, geography, physics, biology, and chemistry. However, for special need children, for them, they are doing general science, of which I'm going to explain in details because I know we may have special needs people on the call that may want to know a lot about their subjects. Now, when it comes to senior 3 next year, you're going to choose. We have 3 electives. We have what we call the vocation or the pre-vocation subjects that introduce you to the world of vocation studies. We have languages and we have religious education. Now, when you look at these blocks, you are going to be choosing 2 subjects. Remember, these are 7. So you're going to choose 2 subjects. That is 7, you add on 1, 8, and 9. So the maximum is 9. The maximum, I repeat, the maximum is equal to 9 subjects. And the minimum is equal to 8, depending on the condition. So if it is 9, then it means that when you are choosing, you don't choose from the same block. Let me say, in case you are adding here the subjects, let me say you have taken that in this block, I want a subject in this block that maybe it is agriculture. Then what about the 9th? So you cannot choose from the same block. So you cannot say agriculture and ICT. No, because they're in the same block. So you're going to come here in the block of maybe language and say maybe, I love Kiswahili. So you say, I'll take agriculture and Kiswahili. Another person may say, no, for me, I love Kiswahili. So the 8th subjects can be, maybe for me, I love Kiswahili, and maybe I love my religion. Maybe Muslim. So let me take IRE. Another person can say, no, I love religion and entrepreneurship. So you find that someone will do religion and entrepreneurship. So we do not choose from the same block. So you cannot take 2 subjects from the vocation. You can't take 2 subjects from the language and then also religious education. So you must choose from different blocks. Let me hope that is clear. You can let me know in the chat whether that point is really very clear. Is it clear to everyone on the call? Okay. 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 Yes. Yes. Okay, yes, still another one may say, for me, let me choose that I have performing arts. Performing arts is what many of you are calling music. So you can say, I can have performing arts. Then here, maybe I take a foreign language. Here, foreign languages, we have French, we have German, we have Latin. So I can say, let me take performing arts and I take a language, which is Latin. Another one can say, let me take performing arts and I take salary. So it depends. But like we have said, you'll find that the minimum is 8 and then the maximum is 9. So allow me to first take this hand. Yes, second. Yes, second. Okay. Second, you are not clear. Maybe you can type in the chat. I will be able to respond. Okay, so now that is what we are going to do, or that's what we expect you to do. However, like I've said, the minimum is 8. It means that if you are to take the minimum as 8, for you can just decide that out of all these subjects that you are going to drop, you just choose one subject to make the 8, and then you stop there. However, everything comes with an advantage and a disadvantage. So you need to weigh and see, if I take 8, am I on an advantage or am I on a disadvantage? But here you may seek for more guidance from your teachers, from your parents, and from the career masters. Yes. Yes. Secondly, why can't I offer ICT and art? When you look at those 2 subjects, those subjects are vocation. All of them are empowering you to obtain hands-on skills. But beyond the hands-on skills, there are other skills that you may require. You may be very good at ICT, but when it comes to, let me say, when it comes to the language, you may get a project in ICT. But you may find that in order for you to be able to execute that given project, you need to have French, or you need to have Kiswahili, or you need any other language. So that's why we do not advise, or it's not even allowed for you to do from the same block. Because once you learn a skill, once you learn one of these subjects, once you learn one, it can help you to attain the other skills that you may need. Because once you do, let me say you have done ICT. ICT will help you to learn other skills, let me say the marketing skills and other skills. So you may not need to do now from the same block because all of them are leading you into the vocation world. So that's why you need other blocks such that they can complement on what you have already. Clear, but remember you had already. Yeah. Oh, I think Duncan, I don't know, Duncan, I've not. Yes, Telicha.
Thank you, Mr. Kaziba.
Yes.
Can you advise us, because these learners who are going to sit next year, senior 4, we have already
Mm.
registered them in senior 3, and there are some who have been doing ICT and art. We didn't know this is coming a bit late, but they've been doing that in senior 3, and they've registered for that. Hopefully that senior 4 they will continue that way. Can you advise us, sir?
Okay. Mr. Duncan, maybe we shall have that conversation because maybe I will share the UNEB released that letter. I think it was last year. It released that letter last year about that thing, the blocking the direction. So maybe you did not have it, but we can have that discussion after the session to see the way.
Okay, sir.
Mm. Okay. Okay. So we are going to continue. Yeah. Okay. So please, that's how you're going to do it. Now, we have people or what we call special needs education. Now, we have those particular candidates who have different, we have those students in school, or you may be one that maybe has some kind, you need some kind of special attention or special help. Let me say, you may be blind when you cannot see. You may be a person who has low vision. We have seen children that when you say like they cannot see things clearly. You need to have some letters when they are very, very big, even if they have specs, but when the letters need to be very, very big. So those kind of children, we consider them to be special needs. We have dyslexic people, we have people who are handicapped, people who do not have hands, we have people who are inmates. These are like people who are in prison, something like that. So if any of these five things are you are experiencing one of them, then for you, you are allowed to go on and take general science. However, before you choose it, before you take it, there are some procedures that you must go through that your school must identify you. They must get a medication letter from a hospital describing the condition you have. They must go to your UNEB portal, download the form, fill it, take it to Ntinda. Then after UNEB will send assessors to come and assess that particular child. So all those different processes. But in case you have a child, maybe this is mainly now for the teachers, administrators. In case you have children at school who may be experiencing some of these issues, then please let them be considered in a special way. Even when you are registering them on the portal, you register them in a special way. We call them special needs people. So you register them in a special way such that when time comes for these exams, these children are given special attention. Their exams, they always add them time, 45 minutes. These children can be, they get for them transcribers, people who can help them to write. These people can have special papers whereby in case the child has low vision, his paper is printed in a special way that is very big. Even the letters, even the font size used is totally different. So we need to hope because at times the children may fail or they may not pass well, not because they do not know the content, but because of some kind of life that they are going through. So in case you identify such children, then you need to give them extra support such that they can be supported. These children may be bright, but because of some conditions, they're unable to deliver according to their expectation. Even you as a child, in case you're on a call and maybe you are experiencing one of those things, maybe for you look at the paper, you do this and this, then you need to check out. Someone now is saying some of our school made salary compulsory. Yes, like I've said, some schools, it depends on their foundation body. More so if you find that uh, those schools may be Catholic, those schools are Anglican schools and the rest of that, they may make it depending on the capacity. Yes, that's why I'm going to respond further on that. So if your child is not doing any of is not having any of these 5 conditions, then that person is not permitted to register for general science. So these are the only conditions that are accepted for people who are special needs. People to do general science, they must at least have one of these conditions. If not, maybe 3 or 2. So it depends on how God created that particular person. But I want to put a disclaimer that I have showed you many subjects on the list, but those subjects, some of those subjects, they may not be available in your schools. It will always depend on the foundation body of the school. Some schools have made some of those subjects compulsory. You find a school dictating that for us here, you do CRE and entrepreneurship. For us here, we shall do ent and maybe music. At our school, we shall do that and that. So in case your school, that's what they are doing, then you need to abide with what they have, because you have no option at the moment unless you need to think otherwise. So in case your school is making everything compulsory, it will depend, because at times what limits them are the resources. You may find that for a school to be able to implement everything, they may need additional resources, which they may not have at hand. So you look at the options they have given you, weigh them, and then find out which one can work for you better. But please do not crucify them that for me, I want this and this, because you may find that you are one child who wants to do the subject. And for you to do that subject, the school may need to have one teacher to come and teach you. So it may be a bit expensive on their side. So in case your school is not taking all those different subjects and they are not having all those options, then please always look at the options they have provided and then go on to take on what they have. In case maybe there is anything you can do, maybe together with your parent or community of fellow students, then you can ask the school to offer that particular support. Now, we have what we call dispelling myths about subject selection or about these careers. There is a lot, at times we call them misconceptions. When they talk about a misconception, we are looking at a belief or an idea that something that is incorrect, but the way people take it, it looks to be correct. Yes, that is what you call a misconception. So some of you, I know you have heard stories from your fellow students. You have heard stories from parents. You have heard stories from elders telling you this and this. But sometimes it is because people do not have knowledge about that particular thing. Sometimes it's because of misinformation. Sometimes because people do not understand fully what they are talking about. So let us not look at what they are telling us, but we need to base on the statistics. What is available and what do you think is correct? So I'm going to share with you some of the misconceptions, what people have kept on saying that may also eat you up if you are not serious, or if at all you are not being guided well. One of it is that some of you are going to hear people tell you that only science subjects lead to successful careers. You have heard very many people. Now, one of the things you need now to learn is that success in any field will always depend on your skills, the passion, and dedication. Much as science at the moment, they are selling like a hot cake. People say science is selling, but it will always depend on your passion. It will always depend on your skills that you are having, the dedication you have towards that particular thing. So another myth that you are going to hear about is that they will tell you that art subjects are for students who perform poorly. This is not true. This is just a misconception. And some will even say that choosing an art subject is maybe for, it shows that someone is weak academically. This is not true, because in reality, you'll find that some of these art subjects demand a lot of creativity, a lot of critical thinking, intellectual rigor. So they are equally important and challenging. And even they are still relevant as long as you have passion for what you are doing. You'll also find people saying that you can't switch career paths later if you choose the wrong subjects now. I want to let you know that your career path can change anytime. It's not something that is static, because we have seen people who start as lawyers, but because they were not guided well, they switch and then they go and follow another path. We have seen people who start as doctors. I know one person started as a doctor, but because he lacked that guidance, for him, he went with the crowd that, I must do science. The person went in for biology, chemistry, and then later on, he noticed that that was not his passion. He was doing it in medicine, but it was not his passion. And therefore, he switched and now is into agriculture. So there is a lot that you need to learn. So you can easily change your career path at any time. Yes, so career paths can be flexible with very many opportunities for you to reskill and gain more skills depending on what you want. You have also heard people say that ICT is for people who have laptops, computers, phone, or only people who have advanced technology. This is not true. Yes, ICT does not mean that you need to have a laptop, you need to have a computer and a phone. No, it is beyond that. One, that for you to have the ICT, one, have the passion for it. Once you know that there's something I want to learn, then you can learn it. So ICT is not, it doesn't matter whether you have that particular gadget or not, but as long as you are willing to put in the efforts and learn what it takes. You have heard that people say that nutrition and food technology is for girls. I think you have heard about it. So that means that people think that anything concerning cooking, baking is only for girls. No, we have seen people who have been successful in the field of cooking and baking when they are men. So it doesn't mean that someone to do FN, to do food and nutrition, you must be a girl. No, also boys can utilize the chance and become better and even earn more, because even as I know now, many of the people in this world that are owning those companies that are dealing a lot in cooking, baking, many of them are men, meaning that also FN can be done by a man. You have also heard people say that TD is technology and design. You have heard them saying that that subject is for boys, because you have seen people who are into a lot of construction, many times are boys. That's what because that's what the society has showed you. But it is beyond that. We have seen people who have gone into technology and design, who are into engineering when they are girls, and they are doing very well. Hey, yes. So it doesn't necessarily mean that this subject, so do not drop a subject because of what you have had, that misconception that this subject is for this particular. We have seen people who are good at architecture when they are girls. So it doesn't mean that it's only for boys. Many of the things that the girl can do, a boy can as well do. You have heard people say that PE is for footballers and netballers. Physical education can be done by any person as long as you are passionate about it, as long as you have the skill, as long as you are ready to learn. That is PE. And when you look at PE has very many opportunities, whether you're good at athletics, whether you're good at volleyball, as long as you are passionate about something. One of the things that is driving this world, or that is going to drive you into something, is that passion for it. Something that is going to always make you wanting to do something over and over. That is the passion that you must have for this particular subject. Also, you have heard about performing arts, or what people are calling music. People keep on saying, that is for comedians, that is just for entertainment, that is for people who fail in life. Not really. Some of the people that are earning more even now, many of them can be musicians. You may find someone opening up, staging a show, and he can earn a lot of money within just one day, much as it takes a lot. So when you look at these subjects, don't look at what people are saying. Look at what is the drive behind. What is going to drive me to do that particular thing wholeheartedly without fear of anything coming ahead. Because when you do performing arts, you can go into music, it can be into drama, it can be into dancing and other career paths. So there are very many things that people keep on saying. You have heard people say girls are naturally bad at math and science, engineering is for men, nursing is for women. Not really, because I've seen that even in the field where we are at the moment, you'll find that we in the hospitals, you'll find that men are also nurses. Doesn't mean that it should be only girls. So I want you to take some things into consideration. You have heard people say that languages are only useful for translators and teachers. Not really, because when you take a language, it has somewhere where it's going to lead you to. You have seen people who want to do diplomacy, you want to do international business, you want to do tourism, you want to do culture exchange. All those people, all those fields will require you to know a language. Is it French? Is it Chinese? Is it Kiswahili? Is it maybe your local language? Which kind of language? So when you are choosing, there are quite a number of things you need to look at. Do not look at what people are saying, because no one can clearly define who you are. You can only define yourself depending on what you are doing as a person. No any other person can be able to define fully who you are, but it is within what is contained in you that defines who you are. So there are quite a number. These are some of the misconceptions that I gathered for you that you need to, yes, that you need to know and have at the back of the mind. Yes, so we are going to continue, but do not based on what people say. You need to just have that passion. And also you have seen people say that if you fail one subject, your future is ruined. Not really. Not really. Things can change. Things can change. Yes, failure in one subject does not determine your overall success. So you can still excel in other fields or on other alternative parts. So in case one subject has not gone well as you expected, doesn't mean that your whole future has been ruined. No, there are other things that you can do in order for you to come back. So those are some of the myths. Now we have what we call common mistakes that many of you may make come next year. We have seen that the first cohort, we have looked at the second cohort, and we have noticed that there are some mistakes that these children are making because they lacked the clear guidance. And what is one of the mistakes that the children are making? Number one is following friends' choices. Many of you have friends at school, and whatever they tell you is what you really look at, is what you follow, which is really making your life a bit tough. So because whenever you follow what your friend is going to do, let me say your friend maybe a second day has chosen to take ICT. Also you say, let me take ICT. God created us different. Second may be very strong at ICT, depending on the background, exposure, and other factors. And you may not be very good at it, but when you are good at agriculture, so please do not look at what your friends are doing and then you follow the majority. You say, this is what my friends are doing. Let me go. No, look at your strength and look at your interest. That's what should drive you when you are choosing that particular subject. We have seen the bandwagon effect. Because you have seen that this subject is popular. You have seen subjects that are really very popular. Everyone says, let's take that one. Let's take. So you find that all of you are going maybe for art, you are going for ICT, you are going for salary and this and the other. No, please avoid the bandwagon effect. Always be able to stand out alone, even if other people are not taking that particular subject. But when you are passionate, you have the strength, you have the interest in that particular subject, you go in for it. Don't look at how many you are in a subject. As long as the school is willing to support you to do the subject, even if you are 5, even if you are 10, don't look at the numbers. Numbers may not dictate your interest and your strength. What dictates your interest is what is within you as a person. Number 3, some of you have this tendency of saying that, this subject is very easy. Take an example. Many of you may say, art is very easy. Let me go in for it. It requires little time and the other. There is no subject that is easy. All subjects are almost the same, but it will depend on your strength and your interest. It's what determines whether something is very easy for you. What may seem easy for you may not seem easy for the rest of the members. Okay, then we have what we call teachers' reputation for high marks. At times we have teachers at school who really are good at interesting us in their particular subjects. You find a teacher that is really giving good marks. Always whenever you score highly in his particular paper. And you'll say, this is the subject I should go in. Do not go in for a subject because of marks. Because at the end of the day, what does the mark stand for? If you have done Sarah E, you are getting 90, but you are the same person who is always talking in church. You are the same person who is always disturbing your friend, is the same person who is not sharing. It means that the marks are not helping you. There is no value that the marks you are attaining are adding on to you. So what does it mean? It means that do not look at the high marks, but look at what are you going to gain from that particular subject. What is the motivation for you to go in for that particular subject? How is that particular subject going to help you? Look beyond the marks. You need now to be long-term thinkers that beyond the marks, what else can this subject do for me? If I choose to do art, what else will art help me? If I choose ICT, what else will ICT help me? In case I choose food and nutrition, what else will it help me in the future? Do not look at the short-term benefits. There are certain things that may look very interesting in a short run, but in the future they will appear to be useless, or they will appear not to have helped you. Instead, they would have wasted your time. So let's not look at marks, that this subject I'm getting high marks, because at the end of the day, what do the marks going to help you in? So we need to think beyond that. Number 3 is the avoiding weekend classes. Some of these subjects, when they are timetabling them, at times they put them on a weekend. And now some of you say, since that subject is on Saturday, I can't go in for that. Yet that is a subject where you are very strong at. So do not look at the day, the time when that subject is being timetabled. Because at the end of the day, while you're at school, we want you to learn, acquire the skills, apply the knowledge, and be able to go out and change the world. I've talked about the high grades or the past high grades. You may have looked at this subject every time you're getting 90, 90, 90. But when you sit down and have a self-reflection, you may find out that you are not really very strong. It was just luck, or even at times it's just by mistake that maybe you have read something small and the teacher brings that. Maybe you went and your friend helped you doing the paper. So do not base on the past high grades mainly, but also have a self-check and ask yourself, am I really good at this subject? Then there are some subjects that some of you tend to say that they are really very stressing. Yes, in life, you are going to find out that in life, there is a lot of stress. There's nothing as easy as you may hear the word. Everything requires some efforts. So if you're willing to put in the efforts, then it means you will be able to forego the stress. Even some of you at times say, you want to avoid the tough teachers. Remember, there are teachers at school or facilitators that may look a bit tough, but at times I call that tough love. When someone shows you that tough love, just know that person's really loving you a lot. That person loves you. So don't not look at the chance, this teacher is very tough, he's going to cane and what. It is through those certain things, because when you go to the world, those are the people you may even remember. This one who was very good, not helping you, supporting you, may even not have made any contribution. So don't run away from the subject because you feel the teacher is really very tough. But also we have family expectations. Some of you at times choose subjects depending on the family. You may say, my family, all of them are artists. They have been doing art. I'm also going to take this subject. I've told you, you were created differently and you are very different from any other person in school. So you first check yourself before you make that mistake. Because we have seen children who say, in my family, everyone is very good at agriculture. Let me take agriculture. But yet the person cannot really manage it. So have that self-reflection, have that self-check and ask, can I really make? Before you look at what your sisters, your siblings have been doing, do not base on what you have in the past that your sister was good at this, was doing this, and you think you will also be good at that particular thing. Then some of you focus on high earning potential. That when I do ICT, now ICT is very common. I'll be able to earn highly. In case I do agriculture, there is a lot of money. In case I do a language, Chinese, it is very common. Maybe when I do this and this, maybe when I do Sarah E, the pastor, I'll become a pastor. You know, pastors get a lot of money. What? Such things. Please do not focus on the earnings a lot. Focus on the skills, focus on subjects that will help you to identify problems within the society, because it is through those problems that you identify in society that you are going to be able to come up with everything that you want. Okay. Yes, okay. I'm seeing some hands, but let me first finish. Then some of you do not have clear understanding of those subjects. Please make sure you do thorough research of a particular subject before you make other choice. Then some of you look at the short-term gains. Like I've said, you look at this subject, it has little notes. Let me go in for it. After those little notes, what have you gained? Some of you are looking at overestimating abilities, relying on popularity. I think I've seen children who go in for popularity. Let me say, there are some subjects that kids do or take and they feel it is the real subject. Others as if they are wasting time. Not really. Not really. Uh, Time commitment, and the rest. So these are some of the things that I've looked at that many of the children, the mistakes they are making. Yes, but make sure you sit down, have a self-check, check out your passion, check out for those things that interest you, check out how you have been performing in the previously, check where you have the passion. Let me first pick this hand. Yes, second. Second unmute. Okay, second, unfortunately, you are not clear. You are not clear. Yes, you are not clear. Yes, even Nyanza said that sometimes the parents, families make us choose what they really want and what they feel they can manage. Yeah, but at times you need to sit down with your parent, sit down, tell mommy, or talk to her, or talk to him one-on-one. Yes, then you can come up and agree on something. Sit with them. Once you sit with them, there is something I know you can come up with. Involve your teachers. Involve your teacher. They can be able to talk to your parent. Yes, Megan. Megan, unmute. Megan. I think I'm failing to get Megan. Okay. So we can continue. And then now, what do you need to know when you are choosing a subject, or what factors do you consider that I want to do a subject? What should I look at? Yes, Megan. Okay. So what factors do I need to look at when I'm choosing a subject that I'm going to offer? Number one is the enjoyment. When you are choosing these subjects, check out something that is going to motivate you when you are learning, when you are in that particular subject, something that you enjoy. If you know that you enjoy maybe agriculture, you enjoy sports, you enjoy this, whenever you do something out of joy, you'll find that you're going to commit yourself a lot. I think you have seen people who love soccer or people who love sports. You'll find that those people, they will do all what it takes, even when they feel they are tired, they will do it. You have seen people who love ICT. You'll find even they can sacrifice their sleep as long as they're on their laptops, they're on computers doing something. It means that they are enjoying what they're doing. So choose something you feel you're going to enjoy doing, where you're going to be motivated all the time. Number two, choose something that you are strong at. Opt for those subjects where you look at your performance when it is really very good, where you have confidence and you feel that even if anything happens, I can do it. To look at the interest and the skills. Align your passion and abilities to the choices that you are making. Are you interested? Do you have the skills? Take an example. You want to do physical education, but when you look at the physical education, you're going to find in physical education, there is volleyball, you need to have this, you need to have this and this. But when you look at yourself, do you have those skills that you need are needed in that particular subject? Or the skills are not yet developed. Because for some of these subjects, most of subjects that require talent, at 12, that talent must have developed. For people who have talents, those talents develop early and they can easily be noticed early. So do not go in for something where even if your friends tell you, they tell you, you man, you're wasting time in soccer, you can't. Because also there are times our friends give us good feedback about ourselves when we don't know. Yes, so you check out if you want to go in for this particular, am I really able? Am I having those particular skills that subject require? Take an example, art. Art requires you to have those skills. When you check yourself, do you feel you can be able to draw? Ask your teacher, ask your friends, how do you see when I draw this? How is it? So try to find out, get feedback, and then evaluate that feedback that your friends are giving you, then come up with a conclusion. Number four, have something that is a bit challenging. Don't go in for easy things. The world we are in is a world that is really very challenging. And it is for those people who are able to overcome those challenges that can survive. So do not go for things that you feel are not going to challenge you. As in, a challenging here, don't look at it being hard and say, this subject is hard, let me go in for it. No, look at which kind of challenges does it pose. Yes, so be very careful. Look at the future pathways. Take an example. I want to be a business person in the future. Ask yourself, if I'm to be a business person, what do I need in that field? That one, I'll need some accounting skills. I'll need some business skills. I need to, so if I know that I'm going to be a business person, it means that, then you ask yourself, how am I doing in entrepreneurship? What is contained within entrepreneurship that there is some kind of accounting? Then ask, will it be relevant in my field? That yes, so you can go in for it. Then you ask, what else do I need? That maybe I may need to know language because in business you must communicate. So you say, which language do you think will make sense? That you know what? If maybe I am around the Busia, that's where I am located, Kiswahili can work well. In case I'm at the border of Congo, then I know that I need to have French. In case I'm somewhere here, this kind of language will help me to work out. So that's how now you need to look at the future pathways. Much as it may not be easy for you to dedicate to like find out what you really want at this moment, but at least, yes. Okay. Let me first continue, then I'll look at the chart, then look at the opportunities that that subject is going to offer, which opportunities are available in that particular subjects. Look at the skills. Which skills do you feel you are going to gain from that particular subject? Imagine you are doing this particular subject. Ask yourself, what skill, hands-on thing, is it going to leave me with? That I know that maybe I'll be good at communication. It will help me to do this. It will help me to do this and this. Look at those skills. Because a person in education, we can say that someone to be fully educated, you must be able to use the three domains very well. You must be able to think, to use the cognitive domain. You must be able to use your hands fully, but also you must be able to have a heart, to have values, those emotion controls. Yes. Then look at the assessment. Some of these exams that you are going to do, all the assessments, you need to look at how is it examined at the end of the day. You may find that this subject will take quite a lot of time. This subject may have very many papers. Check out, have that self-check. Look at the career trends. Align it with the industry and market demand. When you look at the market demand, what do you feel the market may need? You can go to Google, you can use other media platforms and search in maybe 2030, which skills will be needed. One of those skills that will be needed, one of them is ICT skill that will be needed because you have seen everything now is becoming more digital, more digital. Even I know time is coming when even we cannot, there's no need for you to be at school. When you can start at home, then go work. Start at home. Even there are jobs that you may be learning, you may be looking at now, but in the next few years, you'll find that that job, just the robot can do it. You don't need to employ people. So you need to look at the future trends and what the market demands. Then look at the subject combination. Look at the level where you're heading, that I have to do senior 6, senior 5. Which subjects do you think I'm going to do? Ask yourself, depending on what you really want. Look at the prerequisites. Look at that particular thing. Some of these courses, I will give you an example. For some universities, you'll find that for you to do some particular course, you must have done something. It is common for subject. Let me talk about maybe those who want to be lawyers. You'll find that in some universities that I'm not going to mention here, for you to be given that particular course, you must have done a language, a foreign language, or a language, maybe Swahili, French, this and this and the other. You'll find that in some universities, for you to be able to continue to be able to do, maybe you want to do into theology and what, you must have done Latin. So it depends. So you make your research very well and you know that what I'm doing now will affect my future. So those are some of the things. Others can be work-life, peer influence, time, alternative pathways, the application. That application is really very important. Look at your particular subject you are choosing. Ask yourself, ask yourself, where am I going to use that subject in real life? How will it help me? Don't just do things because they have told you, because my parent wishes me this, because this and the other. Not really. Talk to them, involve them, and have a discussion. So now we are going to go to what we call career pathways and the subjects that are relevant. Now, when you look at my screen, I have identified for you, or you can look that there are 4 career pathways that everyone here has to take. So it will depend where you want, but like it or not, you'll be lying somewhere here. 1, you can decide that maybe for you, you are going to go into science and technology. So you find that maybe you need biology, chemistry, physics, math, ICT, all these are science-related things. You'll find that maybe for you want to go into business and finance. You may find that for you want to go into vocation, you want to go into arts and humanities. So it will depend. Now you need to check out yourself. Which area? When we talk about vocation careers, here we are looking at things where you do, that are going to lead you into those. So you need to know which subjects will I need. In case you are going to arts and humanities, which subjects will I need? That maybe you want to go into law, you want to go into this and this. There are some particular subjects that you need. Anything concerning medical, concerning what you need to know. That is science and technology career. So all these careers you are seeing, all these career pathways, all of them have what we call core subjects that are needed everywhere. And those two subjects are here in the middle, what you call math and English. You need math in vocation. You need math here. You need math in business. You need math here. You need English everywhere. So these two are really very important. For anything you are doing, make sure that you do all your best when it comes to those two subjects because they are core. Anything, let me say you are going into business, you'll find yourself that this business, if you don't know how to play with your mathematics, you'll end up making losses. If you don't know how to use the English language very well, you'll fail to communicate. Take an example, you're going into science and technology. You need math, be it a doctor. You'll find those doctors need math. You need to be very accurate when you are making calculations. You need to be very accurate when you are making measurements. Take an example, you're going into vocational. Maybe you wanted to go into this and this. You'll find yourself that you need to be accurate in those particular areas. So each of these areas, you'll find that you need math, you will need English. And these are some of the two subjects that you use on a daily basis, whether you know it or no. But just know every day use those subjects unknowingly or knowingly. But you'll find yourself that you are going to use them somewhere. Because even some of the things you use at home when you're cooking, the words there are written in English. You'll find that when you are making any measurements, you are going to cook this, you have to measure water. That is math. Yes, so you'll find that these subjects are going to be very important and needed in very many fields. So you need to know how important they are for your career path. Okay, yes, but I know we are gifted differently. We are gifted differently. That's why I say that make the best, put in the best effort. Whenever you put in the effort, God has a way, He plays it for you. Yes, for you put in the efforts. I know you may not be very good at a particular thing. You may not be very good here and there, but make sure you put in that maximum effort. Yes, that maximum effort you can put in as long as you work hard and smart. Okay, now here I'm displaying some of the careers in the different subjects that you may choose. In case you go into art and design, those are some of the different careers you can be in ICT, when you do languages, when you do entrepreneurship, when you do food and nutrition. These are some of the career paths that you can take. So when that idea, that dream you have that I want to be a doctor, I want to be this, I want to be good a lawyer, I want to be a banking what? Then you need to know which subject is going to be very relevant to my career path. So that subject, then after you evaluate it and say, this is the subject, mean that if I'm choosing, I can take on this particular subject. This is for, in case it is agriculture, you may look at the list. It has very many subjects. It has very many career paths that you can take it. And then before you just need to sit down and say, what do I need? That maybe I want to be into irrigation. My area, there's a lot of sunshine. Always farmers are losing their crops. So which subject is going to be very relevant to me is taking agriculture. So you need to know which particular subject, looking at your career pathway. Take an example. Some of you are so much into sports. You really want, even when the team is playing, your team, you feel as if you are dying, you want to be on the touchline, then you need to know which subjects can be relevant such that in the future, I can be that particular person I want. Then you need to know, this is the subject that may help me to gain more skills to be very effective in that particular one. But I've also told you, it is always important to know the paper formats. Paper format is like how many papers are contained in each of those subjects that I'm going to do. Now, when you look at I think that is, according to me, this is my left. When you look at my left, these are some of the compulsory subjects. So when you look at math has one paper. You look at chemistry, 2 papers, physics, 2, biology, 2, geography, 1, history, 1. These are the compulsory. So all these ones you'll be doing. Then also here, English is also part of the compulsory one. Then from here is where we have now what you call our elective subject. So you need to know that ICT has 2, art has 2, Kiswahili, French, they have 2, entrepreneurship. So also it helps you to plan better for anything you may want to do in the future. Because you know that whenever you are doing one paper, it is easy to pass, but it may be hard to get a comeback. So you need to be very careful such that you plan better in anything that you are going to be doing. Then that is, I've not displayed all the paper formats, but I know. Now I know we may have parents on the call, but just for the parents who are on the call, one, dear parents, you need to understand your children. Do not do things, don't dictate for that I want my child to do this and this. No, understand your child, understand the strength and the weakness of your child. Number 2, make sure that you support your child's interest. What the child is interested in, make sure you support him, guide him. Don't dictate that, you know what, Yusuf, I want you to be this. And then you force the child to do that. At the end of the day, he will do it just for your sake. But afterwards, you'll find that he'll continue and change his career and he goes to something else. I've seen children who study because the parent wanted the child to be a doctor, he studies. After 5 years, this person says, after the course, said, Mommy, I've got the degree you wanted. I know now you are very happy. But me, I'm going away. I want to do ICT. So we have seen such cases happening. Stay involved and offer the support. In case the school wants this, please offer that support. In case they want this, make sure you get. Then also get into long-term thinking. Do not look at the short-term benefits. Look at those long-term benefits. Provide resources for research and make sure you expose your child to different experiences. Even the children who are here, if you are this person who is very close to your parent, let the parents expose you to as many experiences as they can. Many of you are always closed in rooms. You think you are learning or you think it is a fashion. Not really. Hey, there is a lot you are missing. Whenever you move outside the four-walled room where you sit always, there is a lot you are going to learn. I think this year, in fact, for history, they brought something about parliament as one of the questions. But because these children had not been to the parliament, many of the children who had not been there, they had nothing to write. But imagine the child had been there. That means that the child will have something to write on that particular thing. So expose them. Whenever the eyes look at some things, it is always to remember. So exposure is very key. Very, very key. And be purposeful whenever you're making those exposures. Don't just take the child here and here. No, have a purpose that I'm taking him to Ginger. Why? I want him to look at along that road to Ginger, there are some tea estates. So when the child sees the teas, even you have a purpose. I'll show him the tea, that these are the tea things. This is coffee. This is River Nile. This is the bridge. So those kind of exposure things, they hope. Even if it just means visiting, going here and here, have B, make sure these children are exposed. So now that is briefly what I wanted to share with you, but also briefly, next year as senior twos, as senior threes, you're going to start on projects. Kindly start planning. Have ideas. We have some YouTube videos already. You can get your time, look through. You have assessments. There are 2 assessments. I know you have been doing activities of integration, but now you're going to be doing activities of integration that are supposed to be submitted to UNEB. So everything you're doing, make sure you do it seriously. Another one, start tracing for your PLE details. You know that now next year, first time, you're going to be registering for your details for UNEB for UNEB, because next year, just not it's going to be serious work. First term, you must have registered for your UNEB thing such that the schools can start submitting your marks order scores for activities of integration, project, what subject, achievements, and the rest of that. So make sure that now, check out, do you have your PL index number? Do you still have it, or you need to visit the school? Such that when you go back as a prepared child. Don't be this child, you go back and then they tell you, you have not come with the PLE. Go back at home. So that kind of disorganization, be a good plan that everything I will need next year, I have it already. I have my PL index number, I have my results, I have this and this, but also have that kind of knowledge early enough. Now, I'm going to share this in your group of senior 2. After looking at all those things I've shared, you look here and then start evaluating, having a self-check. Ask yourself, before you choose that particular subject, you're going to have that check. Say, am I ready to select my subjects? If you feel you're ready, you're going to tick. Then you'll come and say, I start. So I'll share it with you. Then you take your time. Then you ask that, which subject am I taking? That I want to take maybe agriculture. I ask, do I love this subject and am I passionate about it? Then you say, yes. The subject I'm choosing, does it cover the prerequisite for the courses I'm interested in? That which courses am I going to be interested in the future? That this course. Then you say, the subject may not be. Then here you say, oh, I'm not sure. Then you say, do I understand the subjects? Am I interested in and what they involve? So you keep on asking yourself those particular questions, and then you keep on ticking. When you find that the number of ticks here are satisfactory, then it means you are good to go. But if you find that you have 1 tick and the rest are no, then there you need to go back and have a self-check and ask yourself whether this particular subject you are choosing will align very well with your future career pathways. So I want to thank you, and I want to end here. Those who may have some questions, you may raise up your hand, and in case there is something you want, you can let me know. So let me first end here, and then those who have questions you can ask, but also you can use the chat. Someone is asking, according to the new curriculum, can we end in senior 4 because there are programs abroad who allow students from Uganda after saying, okay. Now, some of these decisions, Henry, you may need to first involve your parent. You may need to involve your parent. 1, it will depend on which course do you want to do. Which country are you going to? Do the parents have the resources to facilitate you in that particular program? Then look at the future, long-term thinking. If I do that particular, will that course be relevant in the future? Or is it relevant to the current market demands? So you need to first think within that direction. Yeah, because in Uganda, our parents have a lot of insecurity issues. So they may look at those factors. Ask yourself, why am I going in for that particular subject? Why am I going in for computer science? What benefits am I going to obtain after doing computer science, is it relevant in my country or where I'm going to work from? Where will I practice it from? What are the things needed for me to do it? What are the prerequisites? What are the success stories people who have done it are sharing? Do I have mentors that have done that particular subject or combination or that particular course? Have you made enough research in that area where people are talking or where people have gone? Because one thing you need to learn, in Uganda, we have very many people who only tell us the good things, but they will never tell us the other side of the coin. They never flip the coin for us to know what is behind. They may tell you that, this thing is selling, this thing is good, but do you know it in details? There are always certain things they hide from us that will require you now to go into information literacy and first assess that particular thing before you dig deep into it. So you need to know about it before you get captured. Yes, now in people of ICT in senior 4, it is okay. It is okay. But maybe my advice would be, can you go beyond? Can you do the extra that your teachers maybe have not yet done? Some of the extra things I want you to look at. Currently, I know in senior 4 you're doing something concerning website designing. Ask yourself, when I look in the field, how are they designing websites? That the common ways they're designing website is using maybe WordPress. As my teacher taught me this, that maybe no, is using Microsoft Expression. Is it still relevant in the market? That maybe not really. Then as a child, as a student, can you teach yourself WordPress? And then the teacher can support you from there. So I expect that someone doing ICT at senior 4, you can design a website using maybe WordPress, such that by the time you go out of the school, you are able to make some money, that now you are good at web designing. So I want you to look at all the applications that you are doing in senior 4. Choose out one application. Maybe for you want to be good at Excel, you want to be good at database, you want to be good at this. You apply them and give it all your best. Those applications will really work for you. Okay. Okay, Teacher Duncan, I think I'm going to share. I will share. Someone asking about the new curriculum. Is it going to be implemented in A level? Yes, yes, please. Patrick, expect it. Expect there is a lot coming, though I don't want to comment on it, but please be sure that you are going to have a competence-based curriculum at A level, but it will be a bit abridged. But you'll have the way you have been studying, the approach will remain the same. So expect, but we shall have those sessions early next year. Okay. Someone who wants to do computer science, knowing math is good. Knowing math is going to be very good for you. Knowing ICT is very good for you. Yes, those are some of the subjects you need to know. Yes, knowing math, but now there to be very relevant. Yes, I want you to go on further, make more research in artificial intelligence, things database, programming, and the rest of that. Then also physics is going to be very important for you. Yes. So at least you must have those subjects. Most so if at all you're going to do those things within Uganda. Choosing subjects like making choices for the school, because a parent may say that he or she wants a priest in a family and you follow the order. So I ask to encourage parents to first talk to their children before deciding for them. Yes, this is really very true. And I think you have brought out this example, Henry, where parents really dictate But some of these things or some of the career paths, it is a calling. Even if you force someone to go in for something, when it's not his calling, like it or not, it will never work out. Now, like we have said it here, some parents really want their children to be maybe priests. They want them to, and they will take them to seminary schools and the rest. But the other one is a calling. Some professions are just a calling. God has to call you into it. If you are not being called, even if you try, things may not work out. At least you reach, even if you go and you are almost reaching there, but when it was not your calling, you will find things not working out. But the most important thing, whenever you go for something that God called you for, things that you are passionate about, you'll find things really working out. Working out. You have seen those subjects you go in when you're passionate. Things work out. You don't need to struggle a lot to do a lot of things. You find yourself that things are really working out. Mommy says she can't spend fees on a kid who takes arts. Now, the parents are just, I don't know, Rihanna, I think maybe we just need to have a discussion with the parent because we have seen people who are successful who have taken on the arts. It depends on the child's abilities, the strength, the calling, the passion. God created us differently. Your mother may be an engineer. Your mother may be a lawyer. Your mother may be, let me say, a doctor, because that's what God called her to do. But you may find yourself that God called you maybe to be a lawyer. So you cannot take the same things. And parents need to know that the generation has really changed. Yes, the generation has changed and things really have changed. Those things of looking at courses because these courses are good. There are some courses that really look good when you hear someone say it, that I'm a lawyer, I am maybe a doctor, I am a nurse, I am this. But many of those children have ended up going in for slave trade. Many of those children are in Saudi Arabia after studying the nursing, after studying those things, they end up because they went in for it without passion. And whenever you go in for something without passion, you force yourself into it and things will not work out. So if Rihanna, something like that, if you can talk to her when she's in her good moods, involve your teachers to talk to her. She may be saying so because she may not have a lot of exposure currently, but she needs to know what is on reality. Because I've seen children, I think it was last year, a parent forced the child to go in for science. The child started for first year doing PEM, senior 5, things failed. The parent forced senior 6 came, the child had 2 points. Then the child had to repeat again, senior 5 and senior 6. The child went in for his head, the child got 19 and now is very happy. So there is a lot that the parents need to, I think it was that they are not, yeah. So we need now to look at, yes, at different dynamics, but let's not look at those things that I can't waste my money because of this. I can't, yeah, some of those things at the moment, you need to revise, sit down with your child, and then find out what are the strengths of my child and what do I need. But also as a child, if your parents are these parents that are really approachable, sit down with them, tell her, mainly get her when she's in the mood, tell mommy, this is where I feel I have that strength. Because you have people who do things when they are passionate about them, they really make it. They really make it and do it. Even you can't get tired. But whenever you do things because they forced you, I think some of you might have experienced, you may have gone to hospitals and you find a doctor abusing here, abusing this, because they are really not passionate about what they are doing. You have gone to, maybe you have seen policemen, you have seen what. Yeah, you find them doing some, and you keep wondering, did this person go in when he's passionate about it? Even the education field. So it depends. Your passion will always drive you further. Some still, I do best in ent, but I like ICT. And also I want to become an accountant. Now, One, Juan, you may not be able to do both subjects. But now, like I've shown you the guide, I want you to sit on that guide and then ask, because each of these subjects requires some skills. Ask yourself, I want to do Ent. Now, Ent, there is some kind of accounting. How am I doing in math? Then check out yourself. Then ask, there are some things here. Take an example, I, sit, and Ent. There are some things you can teach yourself. If I'm going into accounting, entrepreneurship may be the best for now. But ICT, you may teach yourself slowly and learn other skills. But also in accounting, you'll find something concerning ICT. Yes, but yes, so you may look at it in that direction, but follow what your heart really wants, Juan. Follow your heart, follow your strength. Look at how you are performing that particular subject. Look at where it is going to take you when you do it. Uh, uh, Families make us choose what they want you to manage. Yes, yes, you can't manage. Yeah. Now that one requires you talking to your parents. But I think starting today, I'm going to be sending a lot of sensitization information to the parents to help them learn and know you better. Because you may find that your parent may not know you. Some of your parents, in fact, they just know you, but they don't understand who actually you are. Yes, so there is a lot that the parents need to learn about. In ICT, we used Microsoft Expression for website. Now, Patrick, that's why I want you now to go further, go that extra mile and teach yourself that when designing website, what other application can I use? That I can use WordPress. Can't you teach yourself? Microsoft Expression gave you the foundation, but what are you going to apply in real world? When you go to the real world, what are you going to use? That you need maybe PHP, you need WordPress, and this and this. So go and make research and then teach yourself. Even if the knowledge you are going to learn may not be applicable now, but like it or not, in your vacation, it's going to be applicable and you may use it to earn a living. Yes, Monila, it is not. That is not true. Can I start learning literature in form free? By the time I joined the school, they didn't have it in their option. But it was told they would support me in form, and now the teachers, yes, please. Mas, it is never too late to start something, as long as you're passionate about it. I've seen things happening. I think I'm one of I think even I myself, so it is not never too late to start as long as you are passionate about it, as long as the teacher will support you, you are willing to read books, those novels, please, you can go on and do it. I also did it starting. Yeah, as long as you are creative, you can think, it is really very, very good. Yeah, go for it. Go for it. Okay. Okay, let me now just take, I saw some hands up. Okay, think they have dropped. Those people who had their hands up, in case you still have that question, you can maybe ask. Okay. Would you recommend FN for someone who wants to do medicine at campus? Maria Martha, that is very okay. Yes, that is very okay. In the future, you having one, let me call it one job may not be very supportive to you. But if you are a medical doctor, you are good, you have maybe your canteen, you have this skill, you can be a medical doctor, but when you are the one supplying the hospital with food or with this, so it is very okay. It is very okay. You can go in for your FN, because even when you go in for FN, it's going to depend on which field in medicine you are going to specialize in. You may find yourself that the field you are going to specialize in may require you just for you are going to treat people using the food. And in food and nutrition, you find that there is some concept where you learn those different things that people need to eat to be healthy and the rest of that. So it will give you really a lot of knowledge. Yes, but it is also very good. It's not something very bad. Yes, and like I've told you, once you do food and nutrition, you will have, let me say, diverse career paths that you can really even take in the future. Yes, okay, cardiology. Yes, Maria Martha, it is very fine. Go in for it. Yes, go in for it. And then as long as you are passionate and you love what you are doing, because you'll find that often you not only use it at home, but also you'll find in the field it's really very applicable. Yes, but also you know that this branch of cardiology, it concerns many diseases and disorders of the heart. I know. Also, remember when you are advising your parents, there are certain foods you tell them that here, when you are eating this one, do not take it. This one, don't take it for something like that. So you'll find that it's going to be applicable and is a bit related. And you'll find that in FN, there is that concept of biology. So it will be very helpful to you. Is it allowed to offer 2 vocations at senior 3? Like I said earlier on, Conrad, it is not. It's not allowed, but you may seek further guidance from your DOS, and also you can refer to the UNEB circular that they sent last year, advising schools not to recommend not to have children do the same, because literally when you do agriculture and entrepreneurship, all of them are just going to equip you with the skills. Yes, so that one would be like you'll have the skills, but you'll find yourself still you're going into one field. So they don't advise you to do the same to pick from the same block. Okay, I think I don't know whether we have some teachers who may want to say something to the children. In case there are some teachers who want to make some contribution, you may raise up your hand. Otherwise, I want to thank you once again. I want to thank all those that have joined in. Allow me maybe to share. I know some of you may have come in after we had started. Maybe I can just share this slide, which had the different options. Yes, so yeah, but I'll share these slides in your groups such that you can be able to look through and then know and start planning But I know there are certain things I've not, more so when it comes to career paths. I think we shall get a session where I will support you on how you can choose a career path, how you can know where you suit. Yes, so I'll do something about it, maybe when time allows, such that you know that this is where I must, like each one of you, God created you in a way that there is somewhere where you must suit. Yeah, so that one, I think there is a model that we shall use. I think I will train you in the future on how we can use it such that you can know that depending on my this and this, probably this is where God really is directing me to go. So I'll show you that model. And then, but I know some of you are good at reading. I can maybe just display that model, but I'll show you with the time, and then I train you how you can, such that when you are learning, you study with purpose. So that model will look like this, that career path. So when we come back, maybe in the future or when time allows, I will show you how to use it. So to know whether, depending on your nature, whether you can be an into investigative, whether it is realistic, whether you are conventional, enterprising, social, or artistic. All of you, at least you have somewhere where you must lie in this model. So we shall get time, and then we shall share on how we can get there. But I want to thank you so much for sacrificing your time. Thank you so much. I don't know whether we can have any volunteer to lead us in a closing prayer, and then we close off. Any volunteer? Any volunteer wants to lead us in a word of prayer, you can unmute. Okay. Yes, Rina, you can go on. Okay. Okay. Have a good evening, everyone.